Hello, hello, NavyField community. As a veteran player, I decided to bring another video right here, and this video is to help you to understand how you're gonna be able to access some specific points here in the game that's totally essential for you in the beginning, okay? And mainly for you understand. Um, if you're a new player here, I'd like to leave this message for you, okay? If you're a new player, if you never play a 2D game in your life before, because nowadays having loads of nice games right there in terms of graphic stuff. NavyField is a nostalgic game. You start to have more fun. When you learn to operate well your ship, okay? And mainly when you start to have a progression there, then you're gonna go between battleships, or you go for the carriers, or even if you decide to go to be a torp man and use the torpedoes, some specific ships, or even the submarines that we call SS right here, okay? So there are things here that you is possible you do. There are options, and then for sure it's gonna be easier after a while. But like you guys know well, when you're gonna start to do something, it takes time there for reach a very good point. The same way I used to be a very good player. If you go to check exactly, my win rate was very good actually. Now when I start back to play again, I'm feeling like a noob. I lost many skills that I used to have before, but that's going to back again after a while. I know that it takes time, a bit time in there, but anyway. So guys, this is NavyField right here. Okay, if you guys see it here, this is the American harbor. But the game now have many options for part of nations. Okay, and then you can select this nation easily. I'm going to show here, it's totally straightforward for you, just for you understand, because you can check this after that to reach. When you start to play NavyField, we start like in the basic stuff, totally basic right here. You're gonna start on neutral, okay? So you're gonna start right here, neutral. Okay, you see all that nations there, that's exactly what they have in the game nowadays. New York, that's the Americans, and then you have the British, part of the UK one, and then you have the Japanese. All you guys see here, so these cheap streets about what happened during the Second War right there. It was it's totally interesting here because you you can have an idea if you're a new player, if you're young, let's say if you're young, you can have an idea about the ships that you used to have in that time before, or even projects that also was involved in that time, okay? We have the Qingdao here, that's one of the new ones, that is the Chinese fleet. But you have here the Italian, you have here the US, are you guys remember about the Russians ones, and then you have the French. So France is right here, so all these nations are here, all right? If they're gonna try to place some other nations here, I'm not sure, I never know, but maybe that can happen in the future. You have Sweden, and you have some other specific nations that's possible they bring here to the game. Maybe, I'm not sure, you never know exactly what's possible to happen there. But first thing first, things that you have to do firstly here for the first time, like is you're gonna start right here, okay? You start right here, and then you're gonna create your first ship there. It's gonna be a destroyer, okay? So you see there, you're gonna be a destroyer, a frigate one. It's like a very, very, very simple ship, okay? Frigate actually, So then you're gonna go between destroyer there. Anyway, it's kind of the same level, but you're gonna create that, okay? And then here, you see this button here down there. You're gonna create your sailor, okay? I think this is totally fundamental for you. How you're gonna be able to select the best sailors to have in your account? You see here that you have the skills there. Potentially, that's the potential one, and the first one there, accuracy, reloading, torpedoes, and then AAW that's the anti-aircraft, okay? And then you have the repair, and then you have restore, and then engine, and then aircraft, and then after that you have the fighters and the bombers. These are the planes that are gonna be using as a scouter. Scout is gonna be the aircraft one, and then the fighters and the bombers gonna be using your carriers. Okay, we call carriers versatile. Yeah, safety. Anyway, but we have these skills here. The best one, if you're free to play player, is 12 for each one. You have to have a look. You have to be farming these sailors a lot. I mean a lot. Okay. For the potentiality here, that's gonna be your BO. The best one is if you go for 14 there. But how you gonna think that BO is gonna be very good for you? If there is a 14 there, then if there are some other 10, 11 between distributed there, okay, that's how it works. Okay, you can roll the dice right here. If you don't like it, then you see there is how you're gonna be trying to farm. It takes time here, but you're gonna be trying to farm at least you reach the 14 potentially there. Okay, but if you find any 12, okay, just like I remember this number 12 between the other skills there, that means that one is a potential one. Okay, if you're free to play player, the 12 must be here, down here, not up there. Okay, down here. 11 is average one. Okay, even though it's possible you get out. Look at that. That's a 14. It's a 14 focus engine, but that is a potentially for use as a British operator. Okay, so that's the one. But this is not the best one. The best British operator, I can try to show here just so I have an idea. I did some farms here. So you see there, have it 13, but look at this 14 there. You say like this is a very good, can be very good as a British operator there. Okay, if there more 10 you have between the other skills for a British operator, better. If you see this other here, you see 12 there for torpedo. That's the good ones for use in ships like submarines, or can even use in your CL carrier. It's not carriers actually. It's another class of ships there. That's they hunt these type of submarines, with the torpedoes one stuff. But like that's the thing, between the destroyers, like that model there. Okay, but that's the thing. Okay, so is how we're gonna be farming. This is the first part for understand how we're gonna be farming sailors in the game. You have to roll a lot before you reach this type of ones if you'd like to be a free-to-play player. Okay, so that's totally fundamental here. All right. And then once you farm all them, I'm gonna place them here in the first ship for you. You can change the name according to the name that you'd like to have it there. All right, and that's it. And then you play there, and then you go to the battle. Okay. One thing that I'd like to inform to you, you're gonna be equipping your ship accordingly to the equipments there. You guys can see the types of the ones that are gonna be possible to place it there. Okay, and then you have it here. So just for you to understand, you have here the radar and then even the engine there. Okay, so just for you to understand here, you have the auto finder. Finder actually is not much used. It's very rare to use. People like to use more the aiming one. Gonna be controlling your keyboard, laptop, whatever, but your keyboard on the way that you're gonna be more professional. Totally a gaming pro here in the game for you hunt your opponents. Okay, automatically is very automatically. You don't need to care much about the way that you're gonna be firing your turrets in the battle. Okay, but it's not fun. Automatic is not fun. Like this is not going to be good for you if you are going to get a high level ship part of the battleships. It's very important you start to learn to aiming in the game. So how are you gonna be able to aim in the game? So you're gonna use many of your shift your shift to have more precision for part of your aiming. Okay, and then you're gonna be using the E, Q, WS there. You're gonna be even checking the control or the speed of your ship as well. That's also very important. You know, it's everything about the keyboard, how you manage well your keyboard for you successfully have a very nice performance in the battle. But that takes time in that, okay? It takes time and loads of training, you know, and loads of battles there for you learning properly, okay? But that's how it works. And then here you're gonna change your, you have always to try to improve your engines for good, you know, for having better performance part of speed, because the knots matter a lot. If more speed you have, better you can go. Yeah, better performance can have between all the opponents if that they are not fast enough. And then here you can gonna be improving between your deck, your belt, your bulge, and your bulk. Okay, so these are important. Mainly talk about the deck part here and the side part here, the belt one, you know, against like you're gonna be like assaulting the battle in the fight there between other ships, and we're gonna be receiving hits from other ships for you survive a bit longer than the other ones, you know. So this is also important. If you don't have nothing here, so you're going to be an easy target, mainly in terms of the, if you have a battleship in the game, like a high battleship, like a big battleship like I have here, you know. As in the US here, I have this one here. That's a big boat, bro. So that's very easy for the bombers or the torpedoes divers ones coming here to put me down. If you do not have very good structure here to protect your ship, that's going to be a very bad idea, you know. So it's going to be very bad for you in terms of performance in the game so far, you know. All right, so I have to leave this opinion here because it's that's what it is. So, you know, of course that this impacting if you more structure you have, less speed you're going to have as well. So that's why it's also important you have here a good amount of supporters, mainly talk about the engineer ones, okay? So one lesson that you have to hear from me, as I'm a veteran here, more engine you have available, better speed you're gonna be able to have, better the journey you're gonna be able to have to fight another player that they are not fast enough. That's the thing right here, okay? So that's why I tell you, if you're going to play nowadays here, so if you are a veteran player like me, nowadays people are not using much the American ships, even though they are very good. Actually, I even made a video here talking about the new Tech 3, the new like what is exactly the battleships that we have to go in the game now, you know. Even though they are good ones, but people would like to go for the French ones, because the French ones, they have a very good speed there. They can they can easily go hunt you and go in and go back, like he treats from the harm situation. Therefore, they do not lose their ship when they are fight against you, okay? And then another good point, part of the French one, is because the French have very good aiming if they are using the front part of the ship is right here, part of the guns. But this is another video that I'm going to bring here just for guys understand this point. But that's the thing, that's how important is your supporters here in terms of speed, okay? Restorer are the guys that are going to try to finish the fire in your ship. You don't need to have many restores. I think that one is enough. All right, okay. People like players do not care much to have many of them, but repair is a good idea. Repair is a good idea because if you repair fast in the game, according to our survivability right there, you can back in scene again in the same battle, and then you can try to change the result of that battle easily if you have a potential ship available in your hands, okay? That's the simple thing here, just for understandable part of the supporters ones. And then for so far, the most important sailors you need to have in your ship is about your gunners, the guys responsible for your torpedoes, or even the guys that, like this guy here, responsible for the anti-aircraft one, you know, a part of the BO1, all right? But you need to care about your shipy sailors as well, because that's also important, all right? Yeah, that's the main things here. So this is totally the basic stuff that you need to know when you're gonna be farming sailors to your ship. Okay, do not forget about the carriers. I do not mention about the submarines, but I have a submarine here, guys. But just to understand, I have here, okay. And I use these guys here. Look at my torpedoes there. So this is everything about speed here. Release the torpedoes, but I have the submarine right here. So then here is kind of the same thing. Part of supporters, you need to have your seaman, you have your sonar, you know. So there are also important pieces here for part of sailors that you need to have according to their skills. For a submarine one, to keep them there more time in diving and to avoid any harm situation to the submarines, because it's an easy target for BBs, for battleships in the game. You know, guys know well about that. So and then of course they need also engineers here in terms of speed stuff, you know. But definitely like submarines here, a very good torpedo man can change the results easily. A part of the supporters as well, to keep you more time diving and then fight against the battleships there. All right, but this is the submarines one. And then when you see here the carriers, I have one carriers here available. I used to have more, okay, but I have this one here, even this one here, you guys can see there. And then you have my fighters. You don't need to care much here about engineers, but more about the fighters, the torpedo divers that release the bomb there. So that's the ones that they're gonna be carrying here, part of the civil ones, you know. And then again, here you can use the finder, in terms of the finder there, to use in terms of the radar one. But the case here is you need to have loads of practice using the commands. And now how we're gonna be access these commands in the game, it's like very simple. You just press here F10, okay, F10, and then you see here you can easily set the type of buttons you'd like to command your aircraft. You're gonna have high altitude, lower altitude, then return to the ship there. Like, they actually don't use that. You can use your mouse to do that. But if you look here, you have the dive bombing, torpedo bombing. Okay, when you're gonna be using these two specific buttons here is when you're gonna be releasing the torpedo, even the bombs in the ship. You need to be very precise to hit properly the ship is right there, because otherwise you won't do it anything, you know. So you're gonna be wasting time in there, and then you're gonna be easily targeted as well in the battle, because you're not going to help your team to succeed there. But like one thing that you have to know about, like part of these divers, torpedo divers or whatever, in terms of CV, the most important here in my opinion is the fighters. Okay, again, if you have a very good fighter CV on your CV, very good fighters there, you can help your team to dominate easily that battle, because you're gonna blind your opponent for that. Just for you remember that. But this is basic, okay. I'm of course going to bring more videos talk about this, but just like just for understand a little bit the mechanic here, you know, for have some idea for part of these sailors and skills. All right, but like basic stuff again, you know, we start everything here in the neutral part. And then here, guys, what's going to be your function? To place your sailors in a high level, okay? You're gonna be able to do this to the level 25, and then with the level 12, you can actually select the nation that you'd like to go for. Okay, so I'm going to show here just for you to see this. I have some sailors already that I was farming here in some specific level. So I'm going to take them here. They are here actually. So just for you to see here. So I have here this sailor here, and then you see there CLS. And then here, look at that. You know, it's better to stick to the one nation for beginners. Sailors must be choosing nationality before level 25. You have to think that. And then here you're gonna be able to select your radio man. The radio man, like, just be careful here, because if you use a radio man, I just like to let you know that for you, if you'd like to build your squadron, okay, if you'd like to build your squadron here, you need to place this guy in a high level, at least 50 there, okay, level 50. But this guy must be in the ship there, you know, for be able to do that, you know. But then after, like, see, level 12, you can select any of these nations. Once you select the nation here, you're gonna go exactly to the harbor of that specific nation there, and then you're gonna see the ships that's gonna be able to get for the first place, okay. And then for sure, if you build your bridge operator on this nation here, and then you're gonna have easily access a call to the bridge operator as well. And then only the bridge operator, guys, that you're gonna have access to the ships that you already have in some specific nations there. So I'm going to bring this guy here just to understand. So everything is accessed here by the bridge operator. Coming here to the ships, and then you're gonna have a tech 3 here. Okay, so you see the tech 3 there. And then one thing that you have to know, just for you remember, you see Kuma here. Once you select this Kuma here, there are some renew modules part of that chip. Okay, it's not possible you see here, but how you're gonna be able to see this? You're gonna be able to see here as a remote, and then you see there Kuma Kai. So that's the thing, like, you can see this ship is there, you know. It's a renew part, like I did to reach this level here. Firstly, you need to reach the level. Now after you reach the level, then you could just come in here to remote part, and then I'm gonna be easily selecting that specific ship. The same thing happened here when you talk about the CV right here, because in the talent tree we have the Griff Zeppelin there, Griff Zeppelin 1. Let me go there to my BO. Where are you, bro? Here, just for you understand, you see, like, the Graf Zeppelin. So you cannot see the number 2 here, but then you have a remote of him to go to the second level, you know. So it's a modern ship in that version there, okay. And then you have more resources. That is exactly this one here. And then you do it again, you do right here. So you go from the Graf Zeppelin here, 1 to the Graf Zeppelin 2, okay. So that's what happened here. So you have these things in the game, and also in terms of the tech tree, there is what you have to do here if you have some specific bridge operator. But again, you access that according to your British operator. All right. And another thing that you have to know, that's one of the important things, is this part here. You access, there are 4 numbers. You cannot forget these numbers, okay. This is like the same, like 4 numbers for your credit cards, okay. So this is what exactly you get if you buy something in the game, okay. If you buy something in the game, it's gonna show up right here. So that the premium ship is right here. There are the ship items, elite sailor item here to improve our sailors, and then you have the event points as well. Okay, everything there, you have 4 numbers to access that. But one thing that I have to show to you here is about the store, okay. So once you have the store, I'm gonna show here for you. We have this store here of NavyField, okay. And then I'm gonna enter here. It's good to enter here because you can see some specific videos right there, but they have even the store here where it's possible to get anything in the game if you'd like to spend some money. All right, but they have here available, everything available for you, okay. So I'm gonna show here. So you see NF store there, you click it right there, and then you're gonna see here the premium ones. You have the ships, you have the ship item, elite sailor item, others, you know. So you can check everything here, right? Of course, that you have to log in there. You're gonna select exactly the server that you are playing your game, you know. Then you're gonna be providing the resources that you are getting to your account. I call it this way right here. Okay, it's very simple, but actually is the way that you do. You know, you're gonna be doing that. If you'd like to have that ship there, I have some already EBBs ships available on my account, and that's possible obtain right here. Even the premium ones. Do you know the difference between the event ships to the premium ones? Simple. If you play with your premium ships, this is very good one. Okay, this is very good one. You know, just for understand. If you have a premium ship in your account, okay, I'm gonna go here. I have some premium ships, like I'm gonna show here. I have even on this site. You see this one here is a premium ship. This any premium ship in this game. This is the big advantage, huge advantage. You don't need to have a British operator to operate the ship. It's easier for you if you'd like to improve your sailors to a high level using the premium ones. And not just that, you get experience, you get more credits doing that as well. You guys know well that you need the credits to buy other ships, mainly the high level battleships in the game. So if you play more with the premium ships one, you're gonna be easily getting more credits on this game right here. This works not just about this game, but even others, okay? But the premium ships helps you on this way. I'm going to show here just an example. I go to the American one. So you see I have some this is a EBB, but this is a premium ship. Okay, so this Sevastopol here is a Russian version to the Americans, but like again, I can place as a BO there. It can be any level. Oh, you need to be in a high according to the level of the ship there. That's another thing. But I can place any according to the level. Must be this is the America actually. So must be American there. But can be any supporter. Okay, I'm gonna place one of my supporters here. So I take the American there. So like of course you're gonna be able to do that according to the level of the ship. Okay. Just like to remind you, I think this ship here is level 60 something if you're not wrong. But let me go here to the American. Can be only American, and that's another thing. They do not allow you to place any other nationality a part of the American ones. Oh, here. Look at this. You see there? Your British operator can be any supporter. Don't need to be the BO there. That's the advantage you have for any premium ships in the game, you know. A part of the big advantage you're gonna be able to get to use these ships in terms of credits, you know, that you guys know well, that's also important. So get credits and gonna be able to level well even your sailors on a good way, because they even have more opportunities to have sailors here. On this case right here, in terms of the battleships, more opportunities for you to be able to improve more sailors that you have in your account for it. Okay, but that's how it works. Okay, that's the advantage for part of this premium ships right here. We're gonna be selecting premium ships, not EBB, event ships, no, not event ships, premium ships. Okay, that's totally different in the case here. Event ships do not work in this way. Okay, event ships, I cannot place this guy here as a British operator. I give an example here. Look at this. No, actually I can do it. No, I can do it. Sorry, ABB can be done as well. I thought that was not possible, but ABB can also happen that way. But the advantage of the premium ship is exactly what I said. Is the opportunity for you improve well your account in terms of credit stuff, because that's also matter. Okay. That's the main thing that I really want you to know about this, okay? For part of these premium ships, and then for part of these EBB ones, all right? So I think that's exactly for part of these guys. This information, this is totally basic here. You know, if you are totally new here, just about these commands, you know, the part here. And then of course you can check the website, you have ranking, you know. So you have the HQ here, you access to storage big amount of sailors as possible have there, according to the nationality of that sailors. You can place it right there, you know. And you can access here, as I said, as well, you know. So you have the HQ, you have this part here, access there to the website, you know. And then the shipyard you access right here, that go to directly to the nation that you are playing in the game. All right, but these are exactly the basic things that you need to know. This game here, I can tell you that you can try to trade anything that you'd like to get for more credit stuff. There are some areas here that the guy is opening. They open an area there for you be able to trade. You see there, trade area is where people come here to trade something. Okay, so then you open there a room, and then you're gonna negotiate in there anything that you have that you'd like to negotiate for you to be able to get something that is important for you, you know. In terms of battles here, you see this one here, that's for recruiting bodies, people to your fleet. You know, for you decide to create a squadron fleet, guys. Everything depends of the level of your radio man. So your radio man need to be in a high level, okay? Minimum it has to be 25, but it's better you place them level 50, okay? That's the best one way, because you have more advantage, more options there for part of your squadron if you do that way, okay? And then you're gonna be able to create a pixel avatar to use in your ship. That depends of the number of people that's gonna be joining your fleet as well. It's very good. It's very good. You have very good amount of people for this, but this is how it works. Okay, if you'd like to place a squadron here, it takes time in there. There are even specific guide that you access a link there. How you're gonna be able to save your pixel exactly in the folder of the game, you know, because it must be there. A part of the expense is gonna be having when you're gonna be creating your squadron and then placing a structure according to the ship you'd like, the fleet you'd like to have in the game. Okay, this is another basic information here, but my main point here for part of this video is exactly to show to you about the commands, you know. In the first place here, many talk about the BO and the talk about the part here of the when you're gonna be building your ships, you know. This part of the commands is here, the item here, and then, you know, these things that is also important. And here you can access with your radio man your friends, you know. You can check your clan. If you have a clan, you can create your clan right here, establish a squadron. I'm gonna type it right there, and then here is when I'm gonna be organize your fleet according to the amount of people gonna have in our fleet, you know. So that's the thing, how it works. Okay, so fleet there, see there, you know, how it works here. But your radio main must be in a high level for you to be able to do this. Okay, yeah, guys, so this is a video as a nostalgic, is just to give you specific fundamentals for NavyField, because I've been playing this game a long time ago and I used to have many fun. I'm trying to have fun again, even though NavyField damaged my account. I made a video to talk about this, like I had to be honest, I had to talk about, you know, but they did something here that I didn't like, because my progression, some specific sailors just disappeared from my account, my BOs, and I used to have high level BOs in my account at that time. Many things disappeared, and they put the me as guilty. I didn't do anything in my account to, you know, to affect me in a way that I'm being affected. So I'm totally affected here. So what I'm trying to do is, according to what they left in my account, to, if it's possible, improve, like the American here. You know, actually this is not the first nation that I used to have in my account. It was the UK one. But anyway, so there is a video where I try to show this exactly what happened in my account. But guys, anyway, so this is the basic part of NavyField. I think that I didn't forget to say anything else here. I think that I talk about everything, mainly in terms of the sailors. Their ship is right here, how we're gonna be accessed, the talent tree, and the ship is the HQ there. You know, I think that I mention everything, mainly the structure here of your ship, you know. But that's the thing, you know. So if you'd like to have fun, you are going to have fun. It takes time there for you practice your aiming. It's not good, again, it's not good to play as automatic there if you're gonna use any ships, but in the beginning it's okay. But after a while, it's better you try to train in your aiming stuff. You train in the battles, you know, gonna be using there a lot your WADEQ, you know, buttons there, and then plus your RT to have even speed there, you know, and so on. So it's how you do it, you know, in the battle, you know, there when you go to specific battle, but it takes time. This takes time, you know. And then even the angle, the how you're gonna be controlling your turrets right here, that's these babies right here, you know. You can control everything in your ship with your keyboard, but that takes time, you know. The same way when you're gonna be playing with, it can be any ship, it can be the battleship is here, it can be the carriers, can be the destroyer, whatever. It takes time if you understand well that ships, how that ships works, and how good it can go after a while, you know, how you can dominate your ship, your machine, for have a successful performance in the game. Okay, it takes time, but anyway, once you start to play, you start to have more fun, and we reach this level, when you reach this level here. But it takes time, you know. So it takes time. You have to play a lot, you know, for you to be able to reach that level. I hope that in the future, maybe NavyField do something here for you to be able to improve better the level of your sailors. I think it should be more convenient than to stay long, like play long battles, loads of battles to try to improve them one level by the other. If they improve better, this type of the experience for part of these sailors can be nice, you know. The game can be can be more can have better sighted, a better view part of many people in the community, many part of new players, because nowadays people do not like to stand long playing the game to level up them up in a high level, you know. I think that's one of the things that they have to improve here, part of the game, after years playing this game, but this is my opinion anyway. So guys, if you like this video here, I hope you like this video, you know. So I just want to bring something that is important to you, or part of the button stuff is in the beginning, sailors and so on. I hope you watch this video to the end. If you reach this point right here, I really appreciate it. Just leave your like right there, subscribe here to my channel, because my channel, I try to change everything. Is everything in English now? It wasn't to be in English, it was another language, but it was in Portuguese, you know. But now I speak English. I live in Ireland, so I want to bring something here to even to remote my account on YouTube. You know, you are totally welcome. I will appreciate if you start to help me out here, just for like click the like on my videos, to subscribe here to my channel. That's going to be a big stuff for me, you know. But anyway, just leave your comment right there if you like the video, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.